Boaz was the father of Obed by Ruth.
My husband was dead. I say it plainly now, because it has worn the sharpest edge of the words. But there was a time when even thinking it would steal the breath from my chest. Dead. Not only him, Naomi's husband. Gone. Her sons. Gone. My husband. Gone. 3 graves. 3 women left behind. We had once been a household full of warmth. I remember it clearly, how Naomi would smile at us, though we had been given to her by God himself. Orpah and I were not her daughters by blood, but she loved us as though we were, and we loved her. There had once been joy, but grief had a way of swallowing joy whole. It came quickly, too quickly. Illness, weakness, prayers whispered into the night, and no answer. Then one day, Naomi stood and said she was leaving. There was nothing left for me here, she told us. I will go back to my people. So I went with her. Of course we did. What else was there? But on that road, that long, dusty road out of Moab, she stopped. Go, she said. Return each to your mother's house. The Lord deal kindly with you. We wept. We clung to her. We refused, but she insisted. Orpah kissed her and left. I watched her go. I understood it. It was the reasonable choice, the safe choice, the expected choice. But I could not follow her. Naomi turned to me. Behold, thy sister-in-law has gone back to her people and on to her gods. Return thou after thy sister-in-law. But something in me had already decided, something deeper than fear, something stronger than grief. I held on to her, and I said the words that would change everything. Entreat me not to leave thee, nor to return from following after thee. For whither thou goest, I will go, and where thou lodgest, I will lodge. Thy people shall be my people, and thy God my God. I had never spoken like that before, never with such certainty. But once the words were spoken, there was no turning back. Naomi looked at me, and she said nothing more. So we went on together, 2 widows, 2 shadows walking toward a land I had never seen. Bethlehem. It was the harvest time when we arrived, a time of gathering, a time of provision. But we had nothing, no fields, no husband, no security, only each other. So I went to work. I pray you, I said, let me go to the field and glean ears of corn after him in whose sight I shall find grace. And she said, go, my daughter. So I stepped into a field that was not mine, among people who were not mine, and bent low to gather what the others had left behind. Stock by stock, piece by piece, that was how I would live. That was how I survived. Until he saw me. I did not know his name at first, only that he was the master of the field, and that when he arrived, the air itself seemed to settle. The Lord be with you, he said. And they answered him, the Lord bless thee. Then his eyes found me. Whose damsel is this? I lowered my gaze. I expected to be sent away. I expected to be reminded of what I was. A Moabite, a stranger, unworthy. But instead, I heard kindness. Go not to glean in another field, he told me, but abide here fast, my maidens. Stay. He told me to stay. He told me I would be safe, that no one would touch me, that I could drink from the same water as his servants. I did not understand it, so I asked him, why have I found grace in thine eyes, that thou shouldst take knowledge of me, seeing I am a stranger? And he answered me. He knew. It hath fully been showed me all that thou hast done unto thy mother-in-law, and how thou hast left thy father and thy mother, and art come unto a people which thou knowest not. Then he said words I'd never forgotten. The Lord recompense thy work, and a full reward be given unto the Lord God of Israel, under whose wings thou art come to trust. Under his wings. I had not known I was seeking him, but somehow I already was. From that day on, I gleaned in his field, and every day he showed kindness, the kind that does not draw attention to itself, but changes everything. When I brought the grain home, Naomi saw it immediately. "Where hast thou gleaned today?" she asked. "In the field of Boaz," I said, and something in her face lit with hope. "The man was near of kin unto us," she said, "one of our next kinsmen." I did not understand fully then, but she did. Naomi always saw further than I could. And then she made a plan. I knew I would not like it. I could hear it in her voice before she even spoke. "Shall I not seek rest for thee, that it may be well with thee?" Rest? A home? A future? Everything we had lost? She told me what to do. Wash, anoint, go to the threshing floor, wait until he sleeps, find him, uncover his feet, and lie down. It sounded impossible, unthinkable, but I had not come all this way to turn back now. All that should sayest unto me, I will do. So I went. The night was heavy with shadow. Every step felt louder than it should. I slipped in and waited, watched, prayed. Then the time came. I found him there beside a heap of barley, sleeping. I moved slowly. I uncovered his feet and laid down, and I waited. I do not know how long, only that my heart would not be still. He woke. "Who art thou?" And I answered, "I am Ruth, thine handmaid. Spread therefore thy skirt over thine handmaid, for thou art a near kinsman." There it was. Everything lay bare in a single moment. And then he spoke. "Blessed be thou of the Lord, my daughter." Not rejection, not anger, kindness again. "Fear not, I will do to thee all that thou requirest. For all the city of my people doth know that thou art a virtuous woman." A virtuous woman? I had never been called that before. Not in Moab, not anywhere. But there was one matter yet. Another man, closer in kin, closer in right. "Wait," he said. "If he will redeem thee, well, let him redeem thee. But if not, then I will redeem thee, as the Lord liveth." So I waited, and morning came, and everything was decided that very day. The other man refused, and Boaz stood before the elders, before the people, and said, "Ye are witnesses this day that I have bought all that was Elimelech's. Moreover, Ruth the Moabitess have I purchased to be my wife." Me, Ruth, the foreigner, the widow, redeemed, not because I deserve it, but because he chose to. And the people blessed us, and I became his wife. And in time, I held a child in my arms, a son. We named him Obed. And Naomi held him as though the world had been given back to her. Her laughter returned. Her light returned. And I saw then, God had not been silent. Not really. He had been working in the fields, in kindness, in unseen moments, in the choosing to stay. They say my son would have a son, and that son would be called Jesse, and his son, David, a king. But I did not know any of that then. I only knew this. I came as a stranger. I stayed as a widow. I was accepted by Boaz, redeemed by God.